Welcome back. Now, I know it's something that Faith said I can relate a lot to, but not for the reasons you may be thinking, right? I'm not one of the aggressors. I could potentially be one of those that are on the receiving end. And what are we talking about? It's road rage. And it is one of the top reasons you could get killed in South Africa. At least this is according to the latest crime statistics released in February.
Absolutely. While the AA says road rage has always been an issue. So how do you stay safe when confronted by an aggressor? We're joined now by Anneli Retief, who's the head of Dial Direct.
Now, a very good morning to you, Anneli, and thank you so much for joining us. So, you know, South Africans are tense. South Africans are going through a lot. It's an economy that is essentially suffocating them. It's, you know, petrol prices that they just don't know what to do with. And you can almost expect when I drive out of, you know, the petrol station having poured a full tank of about 7,000 rands and get onto the roads, and then somebody just does what I don't like, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make them feel that I'm not happy with them. How then, as somebody that would have done something that the other person doesn't like, do I diffuse that potentially ugly situation?
Yes, good morning. This is such a massive problem, and it's so important that we spend the time talking about it and talking about the consequences. But you're spot on. I think South Africans are under enormous stress. They are feeling it in their daily lives. And I mean, the SA Mental Health report that was recently released shows that South Africans amongst 34 countries are the most distressed. And this distress and this anger actually spills through on the road. So it's very important that we don't only talk about the actual incident that's happening in that moment, but really take a step back and say, you know, are you okay as a person? Are you dealing with your stress and with your anxiety? Because eventually, if you don't deal with it, it's going to spill over onto the road. So it's really about taking care of yourself outside of driving, and then it won't cause a dangerous situation when you get into your car.
Yeah, Anneli, I mean, you're speaking about how, you know, mental health has certainly played a vital role, and I can almost relate it to the past 2 years that we've gone through as a country, where we've had a COVID-19 pandemic, subsequent job losses, economic downturn, and just looking at the nature of our country at this moment in time can leave many people feeling a lot despondent, marginalized, angry, frustrated, to say the very least. But let's speak a little bit. I want us to go delve deeper in terms of just the mental health, right, of South Africans, and how this could potentially be a crisis if we do not tackle it head on.
Yeah, that's correct. And I think also pandemic stress, you know, and it's not only a problem that we're facing in South Africa. If you look at the USA, Healthline have reported that people that have been injured through road rage has actually doubled. So this is a global problem that we are actually sitting with. But SA mental health, a definite problem. As I mentioned, out of 34 countries, we're the most distressed, struggling most. It's about feelings of frustration, and all of those feelings spilling over to your immediate reaction onto the road. And some of those things that contribute to that reaction is the number one thing, you know, according to the Anger and Stress Management Center, is stress and anxiety. So that's stress and anxiety causing you to react dangerously. The second one is then goal blocking. You know, we are, because we're under so much pressure, you know, our lives are quite busy. We've got lots of things to do. We've got places to be. You can often experience when you're in your vehicle that someone is blocking you from getting to where you want to be or doing what you want to do. And that anxiousness and that immediate need to get things going and, you know, and to get where you want to be will also make you stressed and will also make you anxious and will also make you react dangerously. And then what also happens is people have personal expectations, right? We have got this ideal picture in our minds of how this day is going to have to go, and, you know, what the roads are supposed to look like and how people are supposed to drive. And then when people step out of line, they may be cut in front of you. They don't drive exactly according to your personal expectations. Again, it sets you up for a dangerous reaction.
Who can help deal with such issues? Because I'm not going to take it upon myself to acknowledge that I've got issues and acknowledge that I'm under pressure and acknowledge that I need to deal with whatever issues I'm faced with, and I'm going to want to take it out onto the road because that's the only way I can release. So who then has to step in and be the, you know, the reasoner, you know, the person that has that level head to make sure that such situations don't get out of hand. I mean, surely somebody out there, you know, in the heat of the moment needs to be the one that is able to calm the situation, or at least from an educational point of view, who then can come in and teach people that there is a different outlet as opposed to violence, as opposed to road rage.
Yeah, I think it's very tricky because if you think about it, any social problem or any social risk that we face, people don't often have that much insight into their own behavior, their own stress that they're experiencing. They don't realize what they are going through. So it's so very difficult to recognize when you're in a dangerous situation. I think awareness is important. So these type of conversations really help so that people can maybe just reflect and do some introspection. I also think that we've got a responsibility to help and educate each other. You know, so if you do have a friend or someone close to you that you know is reacting inappropriately on the road, just having that conversation might save a life, either of the driver or of the pedestrian. But, you know, just checking yourself is unfortunately one of the most important things to do because you are alone in that car. You are the decision maker. So you need to reflect and make sure that you're okay before you get behind the wheel.
Sure. Anneli, then give us a little bit of a practical modus operandi here. I'm somebody that is on the road and for whatever reason there is somebody who is antagonizing the situation because of either mental health or frustrations or whatever it may be. I'm in the vehicle, particularly women. I'm in the vehicle. How then do I respond to my antagonizer? What do I do? Do I drive off? Do I pull aside? Do I allow them to pull me to the side? Do I allow them to come out of the vehicle? Because once the person is out of the vehicle, it's no hold bars here. Yeah. So you know, what do we do practically to get ourselves out of trouble?
Yes, I think in the immediate term, just to avoid any immediate crisis would be to firstly avoid any eye contact. So just make sure that you don't antagonize that person. So watch your hooter. You know, don't drive in an aggressive way yourself. Don't get worked up. So remain calm. Don't make eye contact. And you know, if you can avoid being pulled off, especially in an isolated area, definitely avoid doing so. So rather, you know, drive safely to an area that is well populated, drive to the nearest petrol station, or if you're close to a police station. So I think just getting away from the situation as safely as you possibly can, and that's basically all you can do. And in the meanwhile, just don't antagonize that person.
Anneli, very briefly, time is against us, but this is a question that I think a lot of road users will want to know about, a little more information about. This is a project that you yourselves and Discovery have been, you know, essentially pushing forward, and it's helped a lot of people on the roads. That is dealing with potholes. This is one of those things that does get Faith quite annoyed, you know, and that could be something that contributes to the road rage, is that, oh, I've had to run away from potholes, I've hit a pothole. You guys are doing incredible work on the roads of Johannesburg. You're even branding it that we're the ones that have done this. How's that been going, and how much more of that can we see from you guys? Is there a partnership with government, who of course maybe a lot of people will feel they're the ones that have let them down with these potholes?
Yes, it's a project that we are enormously proud of. We're working together with so Style Direct, Discovery Insurance, definitely working closely together with the JRA. We've repaired more than 88,000 potholes to date, so our commitment to this project is absolutely clear. As you know, we've been challenged by very heavy rains, unfortunately, which has set us back and set back the conditions of the roads. But nevertheless, I think we've made an enormous impact. Style Direct is very committed to the issue of loss prevention, and as you mentioned, potholes do pose a significant risk to drivers. So we're here and we're making we're giving it our full commitment and moving forward with the Pothole Patrol project.
Sure. Anneli, we have to leave it here, but thank you very much for your time this morning. Anneli Retief is the head of Style Direct. There it is. It is a story all about road rage. Have you ever been in an incident where you've actually had to diffuse a situation because somebody was antagonizing you?
No. And I'm of the belief that people think that I'm the one that could bring them trouble. So rather don't start with me. I've got apparently this demeanor that I'm quite scary. So yeah, but people can't pick that up in the car.
Yeah.
So just looking at you, you're dark, you've got fairly big eyes, you seem, and when you pull a garage, so I garage. Yeah, and then people just like,
you've got a mean face.
yeah, people are just like, we don't know if he's a marshmallow, so we won't want to try it if he's a marshmallow. Let's just walk away. And usually, I don't want to say I'm not bad on the roads, right? But sometimes you'll just make that one mistake. And then, you inconvenience somebody, and then that somebody wants to start something, and then they drive and, no, fine, let me just carry on. Which I'm happy about, because then I'm not a fighter, and if you are thinking that I'm a fighter and you're deciding to not fight me,
that works.
Situation diffused.
Win-win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people are like that. So hopefully, guys, when you're driving around, obviously coming back from your Easter festivities, please listen to Anneli. Just don't do it. It's really not worth it.
And don't antagonize people like us with eyelashes that actually look like marshmallows on the road. That is just not fair.
No,
it is really. I'm a woman in the road.
Exactly.
With eyelashes on top of that. Don't antagonize eyelash people.
Come on.
What?